welcome back to the morning show here on Noise News. For updates on sports stories across the globe, Aaron Akirijola joins us. Good morning, Aaron.
A very good morning to you, Aya. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Hi, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Rafai.
Good morning, Aaron.
All right, let's get it started with the Nigeria Football Federation right now. Still reeling from the whole Finidi George and Victor Osimhen controversy and impasse. Let's say that they actually released a statement yesterday through the communications director, Ademola Olajire, who has actually confirmed that at the moment, that nothing of such, talking about a ban, because there were reports online that the Nigeria Football Federation had actually hit Victor Osimhen with a ban, no thanks to that outburst, but they've actually spoken out. If they can actually help us out there with the statement there, of course, they actually said that nothing of such, that mischief makers should probably try to stay away from all that has actually happened, and nothing of such has been done, that their focus still remains trying to get to the root of the matter, and more importantly, not just getting to the root of the matter alone, but also trying to move it even further, because they said Nigeria Football Federation has described as outright falsehood reports in some online publications on Wednesday that the football governing body had slammed the ban on Super Eagles forward Victor Osimhen from the team for his social media outburst a few days ago. Now, if I were to put this into context, according to a journalist and some other sources out there, some reliable sources, there are talks that, of course, Victor Osimhen has people that are shielding him in the committee and in the board of the Nigeria Football Federation. Hence, whatever happened in that closed-down meeting with the Minister of Sports, they were the ones that were reporting those situations to Victor Osimhen. Hence, they were the ones that were driving the wedge in the national team. And these are the people, according to those reports that I've actually received from reliable sources, that since Finidi George decided to step on the tail when being asked by the minister that what's the problem, and he said that my hands are literally tied, because board members who have skin in the game, board members who have candidates in the Super Eagles and always trying to protect their interest are the ones that have tied my hands. In the famous words of that particular judge in the Awolowo case back in the day, where he says my hands are tied. And there were talks about the fact that the technical director, Cerezo Eguavon, said that cannot be the case. And he promised them, talking about Finidi George, when he was the coach, that moving forward, he was going to act as he should, not probably leaning towards any kind of proclivity. But that's all water under the bridge. But in the meantime, while all that is still going on, Victor Osimhen has decided to go back to his roots. Olushosu School, where he actually, some say where he started football, and he took that particular award there, the world award he won, talking about the 2023 CAF award. He took it to the school. Of course, he met with teachers and met with quite a number of people and had a great time trying to just retrace his roots and leave all the trouble of the Nigeria Football Federation, the Super Eagles, Finidi George aside, as he went there to probably encourage the students that if I can do it, certainly you can. Now, quickly away from Victor Osimhen and all that has actually happened, let's actually turn our attention to the Euros that are heating up nicely in Germany. And at the moment, of course, the host, Die Mannschaft, the German national team, are unstoppable at the moment. They are in imperious form and they are looking good for the money. Yesterday, against Hungary, they dispersed them once again in almost easy fashion. 2-0. They are looking good for the money. They've qualified for the next round with a game to spare, and they will be going into their final game knowing that they can actually ease up. They will take on Switzerland, and they are topping that particular group. And kudos to how they've actually marshaled themselves in this particular tournament, because this tournament has been difficult for quite a number of teams. And also, Switzerland yesterday actually held Scotland to a draw. But let's talk about the fact that the 2024 Copa America begins, some will say today, depending on where you are. Some will say tomorrow. But in Nigeria, 1 a.m., it will be Argentina, the defending champions, against Canada, and everyone seemed to be excited about the prospect of having Lionel Messi play at the highest level again. And it is Argentina against Canada. But for some who they'll be looking at it, this is Lionel Messi's 10th international tournament. He will be wearing the jersey number 10. So let's see if he can actually light this particular one up. Of course, he is in the group with Peru, Chile, and Canada, and the United States are joining for the very first time. Uruguay, Panama, Bolivia, Brazil.
I like the inclusion.
Yes,
bring Central America.
Central and North America into it. Mexico, Ecuador, Venezuela, Jamaica are all coming in. But let's actually tell you that today it's going to be quite exciting, because if you actually move it on and you're looking at it, Euro 2024, we're having some massive games, a reprisal of the semifinals of Euro 2020. When you look at both teams, because Slovenia takes on Serbia. No, but the one I'm very, very particular about, Denmark against England, reprising the semifinals of Euro 2020, and the big one, the La Fiera Spain against Italy. So let's see if the Azuris will be able to ruffle feathers against Spain. So one to remember, they met also in Euro 2012 in the opening game and in the finals. So there's been a bit of rivalry then. Of course, Argentina against Canada, some top of the peak there. And finally, the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, they've been hosting quite a number of meets and national trials and the national championship to just put themselves into the groove, and more importantly, qualify. Some of them probably put in qualification numbers for the Olympics. And Toby Amuso and the rest of the gang have been blazing the trail.
So for one, please, in the interest of discipline and sanity, the Nigerian Football Association said they've not suspended Osimhen, but a disciplinary action after due investigation must be made and taken. You know why? It's not because of Osimhen, it's because of the future. Because if you don't take disciplinary action at outbursts like that, it means that other players can just go in the same way and do it.
No, but when they are board members that are protecting the player,
listen, Aaron, it's not about board members. It's about the sanctity of Nigerian football. If you do not take disciplinary action after a player outbursts and disrespect his coach, then forget it, you don't have a team. And Nigerian football will continue to go down the drain. Anyway, it's always gone down the drain. So it will continue to go down the drain if you don't take the discipline. I'll posit two scenarios. If Osimhen was playing in the Clemens Westerhoff team, does he dare do such a thing? What is bad is bad. So disciplinary action needs to be taken. I don't know whatever they're going to decide. Maybe it's a fine or one of them, or I don't know, or suspension. But they have to investigate and take disciplinary action. And for those people that use their own personal interest over Nigeria, I'll make them remember that if a solid team was not built over the years, they will not have something to be able to push themselves into. Both board members that collect pecuniary gains, both coaches that ask players for all sorts, please, we need to bring sanctity and sanity back to this team. It can't be business as usual. Because you can see Nigeria has become a laughing stock on the African continent.
No, but the politics have always threatened to, not threatened, it has actually tarnished the game. Because usually it's when the national team has to fulfill the quota system, then you know that there is a problem. Because people from several regions have to be represented in the national team.
That's why. Have you ever wondered why we succeeded with Westerhoff? Emeka Omerwa played a very, Chigo's father, played a very prominent role.
Okay.
It was not about quota system. It was about the best players possible with the advantage of the league.
The realities are different right now.
And the truth is, we have a league that is trying to get an ascendance. It still has a lot of its challenges. But it has to be the best people possible, not the best sentiment possible in the room.
Godfathers
we need to clear that out. We need to clear that out.
I agree with that. If if whether politics or indiscipline, it can have a way to just destroy what the NFF, and that's the truth. I'm hoping that there'll be no sacred cows, as we often talk about, and that indeed there would be some form of, even though they say no, there's no ban, it may not be as heavy as a ban, but let there be some sort of sanction, let there be some sort of example made. If not, we already know these things happen where the international players come and they are untouchables in the team, but when it becomes very obvious where they have the audacity and temerity to come online and post that, then it's gone too far. But let me talk about Euros and what has been the conversation around when fans ought to be fined, especially with what's happened. I think it was the match yesterday where fans were chanting anti-Germany songs when Serbia was playing, and the fact that conversation's come up again where they say, we can't really do much, it's not a crime in Germany for you to sing that kind of song. If you were outright, Nazi signals, or if you were, for instance, it was homophobic slurs, then it would be a different ball game. But then there has to be some discipline. If it were like a league match, you would find the team and all that. But when it comes to fans, how do we stop such vitriol being said or sung on in matches, because it can have effect on players? So those are conversations or things that have marred the ongoing Euros. The games are great, fantastic, some nice outcomes, but also those things that we must talk about in terms of racism and discrimination during matches being played.
I'm hoping that it does, but sometimes fans will be fans, and the fans know that some of these things do unsettle not just not their opponents, and so they do it on purpose to be able to get that kind of reaction. And it's unfortunate that there's little or nothing the footballing world can do about it. This is not the first. In the England game, something like this also happened.
Euro 2024, yes. Scotland managed to secure a draw yesterday. So Steve Clarke and his team, they're still in the game. Germany has qualified for the first team to qualify for the quarterfinals. England today will face Denmark. And I keep talking about superstitions. Some of the newspapers in the UK today, they are calling on the spirit of Sir Arthur Pendragon, the Druid King, who enacted the ceremony of Stonehenge, to come to the rescue of England by calling up all the ancestors to go onto the pitch with the 3 lions. But unfortunately for the English, this same spirit that they are calling upon, they just stopped oil crew when they are yesterday and desecrated the place with orange powder paint. But for the first time, we have Kestama and Rishi Sunak both condemning and say, how can you do that to a sacred heritage of the English people? But we'll see whether they will be saved by the Druid King or they will join, Germany to get into the quarter-finals. And still talking about Germany. There is Musiala, Jamal Musiala.
Yeah, he's been a shining light.
Who is, a standout player for the German team. Incidentally, he's a Nigerian, half Nigerian.
Yes, he is.
His father is a Nigerian Yoruba. Yeah. The mother is German with Polish roots. And it's not the only Nigerian that is in that Euro 2024. There are many of them there. There is this boy that was rejected, Michael Folorunsho, who plays for Italy. He wanted to play for AFCON. Your Nigerian managers refused to even attend to him at all. Now he's there for Italy. There is Joshua Zirkzee. He's also in Nigeria. There is David Alaba. He's also in Nigeria. There is Bukayo Saka. Yes. He's also one of us. There is, who again? Akanji.
Emmanuel
Akanji. He also has Nigerian roots, or half Nigerian, half Switzerland. So, Eberechi Eze, playing for England. So, if the Super Eagles are misbehaving, see, I've counted almost about 7 or 8 who are doing well.
Doctor, people claim that part of the problem when it comes to commitment, because it was when they were talking about the problems with these particular Super Eagles, it was almost narrowed down according to the ex-coach Finidi George. He said that commitment issues were a big problem, and these commitment issues have been traced to players like you've just mentioned, who do not share the kindred spirit like Nigerians that were born here, raised here, and actually probably understand what it takes
Nigeria recognizes dual citizenship.
No, of course.
They are still one of us.
Of course. But people always question that they do not understand what it means and the value and the weight to wear the jersey of the Super.
Can they win matches?
But unfortunately, in that particular time, we haven't really moved forward. It's still here, not there.
We have to go. You mentioned Messi. There is a man called Turkish Messi at the Gulag, who is also doing very well.
Yes,
just 19-year-old.
Yes, he is.
He's making history.
Yes, he is.
Well, thank you very much.
Swiss Messi scored a wonderful goal.
Yes, Shaqiri.
And speaking about Kings, Dr. Abati, I'm sure the Danish too are going to call on the memory of King.
The Vikings.
No, King Hadrad Bluetooth.
They will call the Vikings. Anyway, thank you very much, Aaron.